Welcome back to another Sunday prep day. If you're new here, every Sunday I prep for the week. So that means cutting up my vegetables and making things that take a little bit longer. So today I'm going to make a roasted salsa. Not roasted salsa, a red salsa. Salsa roja with some dried chilies. So, for one, I just cut up an onion in quarters, or half an onion. So that is going to go in my salsa. So I want to roast that. I also have a few fat cloves of garlic that I'll throw in whole. And I'll add some tomatoes. I'll just cut them in eighths, nice big chunks. And before I start, I just preheated my Ninja Foodi so that can go straight in. And I'm doing this first so that I can just roast while I'm prepping the rest. So I can just work on that as soon as I'm done chopping. So I just have 3 tomatoes here, about half an onion, and 3 cloves of garlic. So that in my basket. And like I said, I preheated my Ninja Foodi on grill. You could also do this in the oven, just on broil or grill, the highest it goes. And I'll do that for 10 minutes. And meanwhile, I'll just keep working on chopping. So here I have a couple of cloves of garlic. And yeah, let's just go over the meal plan. So for lunch today, as I usually do on Sunday, I'm gonna have some sandwiches. I have some whole wheat rolls. I have some ham, and I also have some cheese spread. So I might do both on that. And I don't think I'm gonna do cucumber this week. I don't know. I'm not in the mood for a cucumber on my sandwiches. So. But yeah, if you're new here, I am diabetic. I have to cut some carbs, so I mostly cut them for my lunch, except on the weekend when I have my cheat days. So then I have sandwiches and I try to do whole wheat. Just make it a little bit lower on the glycemic index. So. But yeah, during the week it's mostly low-carb, keto-friendly meals. And I don't really eat breakfast, so you probably won't hear me mention that. Just because I'm not a breakfast person. And if I do feel like breakfast, I have some yogurt. I have some fruit, so I can always make some Greek yogurt with fruit on top if I really am hungry in the morning. So this onion I'm just going to dice up. And one of the things I'll use this for is tonight I'm going to do some sauerkraut. So I still have some in the fridge. And I'll saute that with some bacon and different veggies. So I'm going to do some chilies, some garlic, onion, peppers, carrot, etc. And I'll have that with some roasted ham and some potatoes from the air fryer. I was going to do potato wedges, but the potatoes I have are kind of small, so I'm just going to do them in chunks. And if you do want to follow along, every time I post a Sunday Prep Day video, I also post on Instagram with the whole meal plan and all the ingredients that I'll be using on top of the before and after picture of my prep. So I'm just cutting up some spring onions just for some garnish. I always get a bunch because I need it for something, and then I use a few and I have a bunch left. So I always try to use those up. And I'll just throw them on top of all kinds of stuff. So just cut them at an angle and get that done. And since I don't have a lot of garlic in here, I'll just use the same container for that. So, we were on Monday. For lunch, I'm gonna do a salad, so I need some cucumber for that. I'll just cut that into slices. So that can go in a container. Then for my salad, I also want some strips of pepper. So I'm going to cut this in half, take out the seeds, and then I'll cut that into long strips. And then I have one more pepper. This is also a sweet pepper. So I want to cut those into some dice for a few other things that I'll mention in a moment. But yeah, we're on the meal plan for Monday, Meatless Monday. I'm gonna cheat a little bit. I got these ramen meal kits. They're all vegetarian / vegan, no animal products. So that works really well for a Meatless Monday. And I'm just gonna zhuzh it up a bit. I'm gonna do like half-boiled egg with it, so it'll be vegetarian, not vegan. And I'll do some edamame. I'll probably throw on some of the spring onions as well. But yeah, I have a whole bunch of different flavors. They're all like €1 pack, so I got all different flavors. I don't know which one I'm going to use yet. I'll probably do like 2 separate bowls because they're quite small portions. Not that many calories, but we'll just see. But yeah, I'll just use it up a bit. And then we're on Tuesday. For lunch, I'm going to do some lettuce wraps with the leftover of the ham that I'll have from my sauerkraut. So here I have some chilies of a jalapeno and a cayenne. The jalapeno, I'm just going to take the seeds out because I just don't want all that pith in there. And I'll just dice that up by cutting it lengthwise. And then across. Nice fine dice. I can just throw that on everything. One of the things that's going to go in is my sauerkraut, but I'll also throw it on the lettuce wraps. And the cayenne, I'm just going to slice nice and thin. I'll leave the seeds in because they don't bother me. They don't have as much seed and pith as the jalapenos do. So, that is chilies. We were on Tuesday for dinner. For dinner, I'm going to do some chicken tacos. So I'm going to do some chicken. I'll do that with the peppers, with the onions, chilies, garlic, and some of the roasted salt, not the roasted salt, the salsa roja that I'm making. So, maybe some lettuce as well. I'm just cutting up some potatoes, and like I said, I was gonna do wedges, but these are too small, so I'll just do like eighths, and I'll just roast those, get them nice and crispy. And since I have really small potatoes, I wrote down 1 or 2 potatoes, but these are like really small, so these chunks I'll do a little bit bigger. So I'll do 3 or 4 potatoes. So there's that. This potato's done. Then I want some carrot, and I'll just use my julienne slicer because that's a lot quicker and more even than I can do it by hand. You can grate it as well. And this is just for my sauerkraut, and I'll probably also throw some on my lettuce wraps. Oh yeah, and to finish out the menu for Wednesday, I'm gonna do some chicken with some green beans. For dinner, I'm gonna do a rice bowl with like lime cilantro rice with the salsa, with some chicken, probably some canned corn. This was a really big carrot, so I think this is enough for what I need. Then I have some cilantro, so I'll just bunch that up, give that a rough chop first. So for Thursday, I'm gonna do some lettuce wraps with some chicken. So again, all the vegetables you've seen so far, and some chicken. The stems I'll save for another time. My vegetables are done, so I'm just gonna let those cool down. They just have a little bit of color on them, then, so because that's color is flavor. But yeah, I'll let that cool while I continue mincing up my cilantro. For Thursday, for dinner, I'm gonna do some noodles with some chicken. Probably like some edamame since I have some in the freezer. Or maybe some green beans if I have some left over. You'll see me prep some green beans in a moment. And I'll do some black noodles because they've been in my pantry for a while. They're still good for a while, but you have to rotate your stock every now and again. Like, it's probably still good until like next year or something, but they've been in there for at least a year, so it's time to use them. So, black noodles, rice noodles with chicken, some kind of vegetable. Don't know the sauce yet. We'll see. And the cilantro is for my lime cilantro rice, by the way. And then for Friday, for lunch, I'm going to do some tuna salad on some low carb, or not low carb, lower carb crisp breads. And I'll make the tuna salad with some canned tuna, some mayo, some diced red onion, some celery, maybe some curry powder, etc. One stalk of celery. I'm just gonna dice that nice and fine, just for a little bit of crisp in my tuna salad. So cut it lengthwise and then cut it across nice and fine. There we go. And then here I have a whole bunch of green beans. So for Friday, I'm gonna do some fish tacos. I bought some fish nuggets, like Mexican spiced. So I'm just gonna use that with some lettuce, maybe some of the leftover salsa. Maybe I'll do a little crema with like some yogurt, some mayo, lime juice. I have all of those in the fridge. But yeah, I'm just gonna top and tail all these green beans. And that's the last of the chopping. We are 18 minutes in. I'm just going to clean up a bit, put away the things that I don't need anymore, and then make the salsa. So back in a moment. So here I have a bunch of dried chilies. I have New Mexico chilies. I have chilies de árbol. I have I forget what the other ones are called. Just a bunch of different ones. I'm just gonna take the stem off and take the seeds out and just rip them into pieces, and I'll throw those in a pan. I'll toast those for a little bit. But yeah, first de-seed all of them and rip them into pieces. So yeah, the reason I wanted to get rid of the seeds is partly because of the heat, but also just look at how much seed there is. I don't want all of that in my salsa because there's also going to be seeds from the tomatoes and stuff in there, and I don't want it to be like super seedy. But yeah, I'm just gonna toast these in a dry pan just for a few minutes. Don't do it too long. You don't want them to burn, but you just want to toast them a little bit. In the meantime, here I have my tomatoes and my onions that I just roasted, and my garlic cloves. So those can go in my blender. And I also want a little bit of fresh onion in there, just for a nice fresh flavor. And to that, I'll add the juice of 1 lime, some salt, and my chilies are nice and fragrant. So that's the time to take them off and add them to the blender as well. And I'll just blitz these up. Give it a little taste. Nice and spicy. Doesn't need more salt, doesn't need more lime juice. That is ready, so I'm just going to let that cool down a little bit, and then I'll transfer that to a container that fits in my fridge a little bit better. And that's all the prep work done for this week. It took me like 30 minutes, and now I can have lunch or dinner on the table in minutes. So if you like this kind of content, I do this every single Sunday, and if you'd like to see what I do with all of this, you can check out my Instagram, where I post every single meal and the meal plan, everything as well. Or you can check out the video that I post about once a month on here, where I show you everything I eat in a day for a week. So if that all sounds good to you, leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe, and thank you for watching. Until next time, bye for now.